All right, independent and dependent variables. What are independent and dependent variables? And can we identify them? First off, what is a variable? A variable is a letter or symbol that is used to represent a number, usually an unknown number. A variable is a letter or symbol that represents a number actually has another meaning in programming. It's a variable in programming doesn't always have to be a number. It can actually represent a string of characters and things like that. But hey, talk to me about that if you're in my programming class. Independent. An independent variable is what I used to like to think about is the in. It's the variable that has a number going into it and it stands alone. So the independent is the in and it has to stand alone. It doesn't need anybody. It doesn't need another number. It is the number that or the variable that stands alone. He's the one that takes another number and then does something to it and throws that answer out. So the independent stands alone. The dependent variable depends on the independent. Dependent is connected to the independent, connected to independent. So the independent stands alone, and the dependent depends on that independent. Wow, I'm getting confused. I'm confusing myself. Here we go. Let's try to look at a problem, because these aren't difficult once you kind of catch it. Molly's daughter is a dancer who will be participating in an upcoming recital. For each dance she has to perform, she needs a different costume. So here's the question. Do the number of dances drive out the number of costumes, or does the number of costumes drive out the number of dances? What's the independent variable? I've got this kid, and does she come home and say, Mom, I need 5 dresses? And Mom says, oh, you must be doing, well, a second. Mom, I need 6 dresses. And Mom says, oh, you must be doing 3 dances. Or does the kid say, Mom, I'm doing 3 dances. And Mom says, oh, we better go buy you 6 dresses. So what's happening here? The independent variable is the number of dances, because that's driving out the number of dresses. So this is D is the independent variable. The number of dances is the independent one. And that one forces out the number of costumes. Dances forces costumes. You can't see that, can you? Derek is purchasing watermelons for a watermelon eating contest at his company picnic. The number of watermelons he purchases depends on how many people have entered the contest. So, does he buy watermelon and then look around for people? Or does he find out how many people are going to be there and then figure out how many watermelons to buy? And it's telling us right here. The number of watermelons depends on the number of people. It's the people that's pushing out the number of watermelons. So what's dependent or independent? P is independent. Number of people. That's what he looks at first. And that drives out the number of watermelons. And our final one. While on vacation, Camille plans to write some postcards to her friends. The number of stamps Camille has will determine how many postcards Camille can send. So, the number of stamps will determine how many postcards Camille can send. So, which thing? Does stamps determine how many she can send, or does the number of postcards determine how many stamps she has? Has she even bought the postcards yet? No. She's looking at the stamps. She says, okay, I have 5 stamps, so I'm going to go buy 5 postcards. The stamps, that's the independent, and the postcards, the number of postcards, depends on the number of stamps. So, stamps is independent, and postcards is the dependent. The number of stamps determines how many postcards she will buy. The number of people determines how many watermelons you need to buy. The number of dances determines how many costumes she has to get. We have the independent forcing the dependent. That's it. All right.